Hi guys, I make this video to pass on a valuable piece of information, how to increase levels of oxygen in your blood if you have COVID. We learned the hard way. My father got into hospital a couple of days ago because he could not breathe and his oxygen levels were really low. But before this happened, he called me the day before that he cannot breathe. So I came to his place with my medication for asthma that I used for many years. And when he used this medication, it helped him. It was corticoids, so in case that by any chance you're an asthmatic person or you have somebody with this, the medication for asthma in early stages of COVID infection of lungs can help. But if it's too late, it's not going to help at all, which was actually the day after, when my father called me again that the medication stopped working and that he cannot breathe. So what I did was I came to his place again with Oxymeter, which is this device that you put on your finger and it shows you how much oxygen you have in your blood. So it says I got 97% saturation of oxygen in my blood and 77 at the moment is my heart rate. The normal level is somewhere between 96 and 98%. What my father had was 73, and if you go below 50, you most likely faint. So his level of oxygen was really low. I also noticed when he was breathing like this. Very short and very shallow breath. He was doing this because if he took a deeper breath, he had strong urge to cough. But we tried to do a very simple breathing exercise, the simplest one, the belly breathing, which is basically breathing with our diaphragm, directing the breath all the way down to the belly. So when you breathe in, the belly goes out. And when you breathe out, the belly goes in. And the chest is not moving. Now, when he started breathing into his belly, a magic happened. The numbers on Oxymeter went up from 73 to 85 and eventually even 89% of oxygen in his blood, which is already much better. And we were breathing like this together, very slow to the belly and up. He had to find this perfect balance between a little bit slower and a little bit deeper breathing into the belly, but yet not to get this strong urge to cough. So his breathing was basically something like more or less like this. Still much better than he was sustaining levels of oxygen around 85 to 89 for 20 or 30 minutes using belly breathing. So then we decided that it's time for him to take rest and sleep because he did not sleep much last night. And so I went back home. 1 hour later, his wife called him an ambulance because during his sleeping phase he lost the belly breathing, obviously, because he was not focusing on it, and his oxygen level dropped again below 70. So when he got in the hospital, he had 68% of oxygen in his blood, which is really low. So we learned something from this story. First thing is, if you cannot breathe, call an ambulance and don't wait. Some people, they really try to struggle and stay home and not call the ambulance because they want to overcome it by themselves. I mean, if you are in the area where there is no hospital and where there is no chance to get an ambulance, then it's the only possibility. But if you are in the area where you can call for help, do it, and the earlier, the better. because if you come too late to hospital, it's going to be much harder for doctors to help you. It's going to be much harder for your body to recover. So if you have feeling that your breathing is quite not okay and you know that you have COVID, call the ambulance, don't wait. Yet the second thing that we learned, and equally important, is that the belly breathing, the diaphragmatic breathing, it does something with the saturation of oxygen in your blood. It helps and it increases the levels of oxygen in your blood. So if it's hard for you to breathe, if you find yourself breathing really shallow, try to focus on breathing slow and deep down to your belly in such a way that you would not start coughing, obviously. It really helps. And my father, as he is still in the hospital, he's playing with that sometimes. So he figured out that because he is on the oximeter the whole time, but anytime he takes 10 slow deep breaths into his belly, not really deep, just normal deep, he increases his oxygen levels from 90 to 95. And as soon as he stops doing the belly breathing, it goes back down. So it definitely does something. And this piece of information can actually save maybe somebody's life, and that's why I make this video. Also an important thing, get this device. If you can, it is easy to buy it in any pharmacy. It should be easy to find it in pharmacies. And if you have troubles to breathe because of COVID, use this device to monitor how much oxygen you have in your blood. If it's above 90, it's okay. It should be above 95, but if it's above 90, it's still okay. If it's below 90, it's not okay and you should call for help. If it's below 80, you are in real trouble. And if you're below 70, you don't want to even get there, right? So get this device or a smartwatch. It also can measure the levels of oxygen. What I mean is there are ways how we can measure this at home. And basically how much oxygen you have in blood is the essential part of information, the essential piece of information, even for medical doctors. If you get to the hospital, yes, they would check your temperature too, but what is more important for them is how much oxygen you have in your blood. So that's it, guys. I hope this is gonna help somebody. And yeah, let's stay strong together and it's gonna be better. See you. Ciao, ciao.